Good afternoon and welcome to Sportsource Game of the Week. I'm your host Kyle Tottelbaum and we have a big private school matchup on our hands this week. Does the Trojan War ring a bell? Well, we have a repeat tonight between the 3-0 John Milledge Academy Trojans and the 2-1 Athens Academy Spartans tonight at 7:30 at Slaughter Field. In the first game between these two teams in 2024, unlike the Trojan War, the Spartans won by a score of 47-14. However, with the new season, we have a new battle. But before we get into our predictions, let's hear from the home team. Sportsource reporter Lily Sincola spoke with Athens Academy head coach Josh Alexander earlier this week. Lily, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Kyle. Alexander is in the midst of his 10th season with the Spartans, and we've already seen some standout players leading the charge this year. I spoke with Coach earlier this week about how his team is preparing to defend their title against John Milledge and break their 3-0 win streak this season. So, Coach, last year you beat John Milledge pretty decisively, 47-14. With them coming in undefeated this year, what do you think is going to be different about this year's matchup?
They have a good team. You know, it's a different team than last year. A lot of those guys are back, and they're a year older, and Coach Walls does a good job, and we're just excited to play.
Sure. So obviously your offense is very strong with stand-up players like Keon Standifer and Zay. So what would you say would be your biggest goal in getting them to run the ball early on in the game?
You know, we always try to go into it, establish the run, but we'd like to be a little bit more balanced, throwing the football and running the football. We've run the football the last few weeks. We need to throw the football.
So obviously they have a pretty strong defense coming in this year. They haven't really given up much. How have you mentally prepared your team for this kind of momentum shift?
Yeah, we've offensively and defensively, they do a good job. It's a lot of formations, a lot to prepare for, good players, know the scheme well, and we just got to get lined up and go play.
So it's only week 4. You've gone 2-1 so far. What's the main thing you think you've learned about this year's squad?
You know, every year it's a different puzzle, and you try to put the pieces of the puzzle together and try to get the guys in the right position and get them to playing together and doing the best they can with it. You know, just each week it's cliche, but you just try to get a little better each week, and hopefully you come out on top.
So you think the chemistry this year has been good?
We have a really strong group of seniors that lead by example and do the right thing and make good decisions and mentor these young guys. And we're excited about how it's going.
For sure. Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you for all you do.
As you saw, they feel strong about this squad. Kyle, back to you.
Thanks, Lily. When Sportsource returns, we'll check in with the visiting Trojans and hear from Milledge Academy head coach JT Wall. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sportsource. Before the break, we heard from Spartans head coach Josh Alexander. Now, we'll hear from John Milledge head coach JT Wall. Sportsource reporter Anna Williams is standing by and caught up with Wall earlier this week. Anna, what stuck out to you in your conversation with the Trojans head coach?
Wall has been leading his alma mater for 15 seasons now. Earlier this week, I caught up with him to talk about the keys to the Trojans' success so far, both on offense and defense, and what his message is to the team as they get ready for a tough road test.
All right, Coach. So at 3-0 right now, what do you feel is the biggest difference in this year's team compared to last fall?
I mean, I think the number one thing right now is we are staying somewhat healthy. Last year we lost our quarterback week 2, and we had a super large group of young guys that we were forced to play early because of other injuries. Those guys have gotten a year older. So having them get that experience under their belt, you know, whether it was, you know, getting beat and doing whatever we had to do, but those guys got a lot of experience. They learned a lot of football, and a lot of that's paying off right now.
Your offense has hit big plays with Cooper and McDonald in the last game that you guys just played. How do you guys balance that explosiveness with sustaining long drives?
We got multiple guys that we try to get the ball to, and we try to be a 50-50 offense, meaning we're trying to run it 50% of the time and throw it 50% of the time. But we want to run the ball when we want to, and we want to throw it when we want to, not when the defenses dictate that we should run or throw, depending on the down and distance. So try to keep the defenses on their toes and try to take advantage of opportune times, you know, to try to hit big plays.
Right. And talking about your defense, they've already forced several turnovers already this season. What's been the key focus, and how does that energy kind of affect the whole team?
I mean, that's one thing we looked at last year towards the end of the year is we weren't really creating as many turnovers as we normally had. For whatever reason, we didn't know. We just try to start stressing what we call a turnover circuit more often and just trying to fly around to the ball a lot more. We always say good things happen when you run. Great things happen when you hustle, and we feel like we're running to the football and good things are happening.
Right. And Athens Academy beat the team last year. What's the message to the team heading into this rematch on Friday?
We know we got our hands full. We've never played up there, but they're really really well coached team. They've got a lot of speed that we hadn't seen just yet. So we know we got our hands full when we head to Athens this week.
Coach Wall recognizes his team's hustle and knows they'll have their hands full, but he's confident that they can rise to the challenge. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Anna. There's a reason why this John Milledge squad is off to a hot start this season, and that stems from Georgia letterman JT Wall. The Trojans have more wins through 3 games than they had all of last season. Let that sink in. After the break, our Sportsource analyst will join me on set to discuss our analysis and predictions. Don't go anywhere. Sportsource will be right back. Welcome back to Sportsource for our Game of the Week coverage. Now that we've heard from both head coaches, let's get into how these two teams will match up tonight. Joining us now are our Sportsource analysts, Anna Williams and Lewis Nkola. Lily, we'll start with you. Do you think Athens Academy can deliver a repeat performance of their 47-14 win last year?
Kyle, yes, I do. Even though Athens Academy gave up 52 points to Aquinas earlier this year, this group has shown they can bounce back. They've got an experienced offense led by playmakers like junior wide receiver Keon Standifer, who has already totaled 3 touchdowns this season and has also drawn offers from Georgia State as well as Georgia Tech. Also senior running back Zay Prince, who's averaging 170 rushing yards a game. The chemistry on offense looks strong, and if they can stay balanced and protect quarterback Chap Chapman, they've got the tools to put up the points.
Athens Academy's offense is prolific, no lie, but what about their defense? As you mentioned, they allowed 52 points in week 1.
That's what makes this matchup so interesting, Kyle, their defense. Aside from game 1, the Spartans have been smothering opponents. They shut out Savannah Country Day School 28-0 in week 2 and won by 30 against Shaw in week 3. Their defense has shown they can hold it down and sets up a battle as a strong John Milledge team.
Anna, let's go to you here. Do you agree or disagree that this is the Spartans' game?
Kyle, I have to disagree. The Trojans have come out strong to start the year, racking up 3 straight wins. Even though they don't have great depth with only 43 players on the roster, they've shown that they can close out games with authority. They've also got some major talent on the field that should help put points on the board. A large contributor to the offense is this guy here, senior quarterback Lewis Cheney, pictured in his old uniform. He may be new to the Trojans this year, but he's quickly established himself as the leader of their offense. He's already thrown for 3 touchdowns and nearly 400 yards this season for an offense that is averaging 37.3.
37.3 points? No shade to Carlo Finlay, but that's more than I'd score on him in a game of Madden. Sorry, Carlo. But what about their defense?
Yeah, Kyle, this is the team that forced 3 interceptions in last week's game and is holding opponents to just 4 points per game. A main contributor to those stats is senior Braden Harrison, who leads the team with 2 sacks so far this season. With strong performance on both sides of the ball, the Trojans enter this matchup against Athens Academy with confidence. This combination gives them a real shot to keep their momentum going and get some revenge for last year's loss.
Real quick before we leave, let's do some score predictions. Anna, what's your take?
I think it'll be a close game, but the Trojans should manage to hold off the Spartans in the final minutes. I have them winning 28-24.
Lily?
If the Spartans can establish their run game early and limit turnovers, I think they'll have enough to get it done at home. Spartans are going to win this one, 21-17.
All right, and there we have it. Come hang out with us again next week on Sportsource. Have a good Friday night.